In this video, we're going to solve one-step equations. And before I give you the steps, I'm actually going to show you how to do it so that the steps, when I share them, are more meaningful. So the first example here I have is x minus 10 equals 4. We're supposed to solve for the variable. And what we have to remember is whatever we do on one side of an equation, we have to do on the other side of the equation. Just think of it like a scale. In order for the scales to stay balanced, if you take something off one side, you have to take the same amount off the other side. Or if you put something on one side, you have to put the same amount on the other side so that the scales are balanced. In the middle of the scale, I guess you could consider the equal sign. But what the process is here is really just getting this variable all by itself on one side. So what we do is we add the opposite of the number that it's next to if we have a plus or a minus happening. Then that cancels the 10 off of that side, and then we're just left with x plus 0. But like I said, whatever we do to one side of an equation, we have to do to the other side. So we added 10 to the left side of the equal sign. We have to add 10 to the right side of the equal sign. So x plus 0 is obviously still just x. The equal sign carries down, and 4 plus 10 is 14, and that is our answer. Let's do another one. That's s plus 5 equals negative 25. So again, to get that s by itself on one side, we'll have to get this 5 off of the side. So we have to subtract it out. Whatever it is, we subtract it out. But again, whatever we do on one side, we have to do on the other side. So negative 25 minus 5 is a negative 30. And when we're done, we always box our answer. And something you may want to do is make sure that those equal signs are lining up with one another in some kind of way so that you can see the continuity of what happened. Left side of the equation, right side of the equation. Left side, right side. Let's do one more here. We need to get this d, which is our variable, all by itself on one side. So we need to get the negative 10 off of this left side. How do we do that? How do we zero it out? Well, add positive 10. That makes 0. Then we have d all by itself on one side. But because we added 10 to the left side, we have to do the same thing to balance the scales. And 7 plus 10 on the right side, that becomes a 17. And you can see the continuity of our equal sign. It just keeps going down. And then we box it up. So the rule is, as you can see right here, we just add or subtract the constant to both sides. Okay? The constant is the number that is not a variable. It's just a whole number, like 10, 5, negative 10. Now let's do some more examples. What if we have something where we're multiplying the variable by a number? This number right here is called a coefficient. So what we do is if the coefficient is, or if the variable is being multiplied by a number, we divide that number out. And so what we can do now is actually cancel those two numbers, because 4 divided by 4 is 1, and that would be the same thing as 1 times x. So we just divided the entire left side by 4. And so we got to do the same thing on the entire right side, and then our equal sign carries down, and then we've got x equals 7. 28 divided by 4 is 7. Put a box around it. So again, if the variable is being multiplied by a coefficient, we divide. Let's try another one. Solving for z. Well, the variable is being multiplied by -2, so we're going to have to divide by -2. Divide by -2. 11 divided by -2, well, you can't really simplify that, so I'm just going to leave it as -11/2. But on this side, our -2's cancel because anything divided by itself is 1. So 1, that just becomes 1 right here, times z is itself, z. And we are done. And box it up. Last one. What if our variable is being divided by a whole number like this? Or any number, really? Well, like I said before, if it's being multiplied, we divide. We do the opposite operation. Well, if it's being divided, then we're going to multiply by the denominator. The point is, you guys, to get this 3 off of the bottom, get another 3 up at the top in the numerator so that the 3's can cancel out. So essentially, we're just multiplying this fraction right here by 3/1. 3's cancel. But then what do we have to do over here? Multiply by 3 as well. So if we multiplied this by 3, we have to multiply this side by 3. Both sides must have the same operation. 3 times 1.6 is 4.8. And we are done. You could flip that around, but you don't have to. The rule there then is multiply, that was really, really not very neat. Multiply or divide coefficient to both sides, depending on whether or not the variable is being multiplied or divided. Then, of course, write and circle the answer. And we are done.